and welcome to our devotions for this week of Advent 2. It is always my delight to be with you as we continue our journey in this world, as we continue to seek ways and means whereby we may grow together. This week's theme seeks to explore the idea of peace and what that means for us in this time, as all of our focus as a faith tradition is towards the establishment of that tremendous sense of peace, using the vision of the prophet who sees a time when the lion will lay down with the lamb and the little child shall play over the hole or the den of the adder, and they shall not destroy in all of the holy mountain. A visioning of peace. And I'm inviting us all this week to be a part of that visioning of peace. We contribute so much to the various videos around the place that's in so many ways breed violence, but how much of our energy are we devoting to visioning peace? If we can hold a vision in our minds, if we can capture a sense of that tremendous peace that the prophet speaks of, then we would contribute to what is needed in our world. So visioning peace is our theme for this week, and I trust that you will explore it on your own and see what it means to you and what it means for you as we all go about our continued journey in God. So coming into our place of peace, of inner stillness, bringing our attention into our hearts and consciously breathing into our heart space, becoming aware of our bodies. So much of our time is spent in our heads, and when we are in our heads, we tend to be focusing more on yesterday or tomorrow. But when we are in our bodies, we are present. It is only in the present moment that we can establish peace, that inner stillness. So we breathe into that stillness and we bring our attention into this present moment. And we become aware of all that is occurring. We feel our body as it is being held up by a bed or a chair. We feel the floor. We hear the noises around us, noises that oftentimes are ignored, are filtered out. Just be present, be fully present to every noise. Be present to the wind or breeze or any current of air. Be present to the temperature. Be present to your internal organs. Explore any discomfort. Notice anything that is occurring. Be present. Be here now. And try not to allow yourself to drift off from this moment, this present moment. In this place of presence, we feel the peace. And we allow that peace to build within us, to fill us, to expand. To expand beyond ourselves. Allow yourself the opportunity to truly feel this inner peace. And record within yourself this feeling that you can revisit it time and again, becoming more and more familiar with it, allowing it to be your benchmark, the space out of which you engage the world. Reading Luke's Gospel, chapter 21, verse 20 and onwards. Jesus said, "When you see Jerusalem surrounded by armies, then know that its desolation has come near. Then those in Judea must flee to the mountains, and those inside the city must leave it, and those out in the country must not enter it. For these are days of vengeance, as a fulfillment of all that is written. Woe to those who are pregnant and to those who are nursing infants in those days. For there will be great distress on the earth and wrath against this people. They will fall by the edge of the sword and be taken away as captives among all nations. And Jerusalem will be trampled on by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. There will be signs in the sun, the moon, and the stars, and on the earth distress among nations, confused by the roaring of the sea and the waves. People will faint from fear and foreboding of what is coming upon the world. For the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Then they will see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with great power and great glory. Now when these things begin to take place, stand up and raise your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." Here ends the reading. There is a saying that it is darkest just before the dawn. In our reading today, we hear the prophecy, as it were, of what would come to be the fall of Jerusalem. A prophecy that churches use to address the end of time. A prophecy that suggests that there will be great destruction on the earth before the redemption of God's people. And in various ages, men have predicted that those times had come. And on every occasion, it was acknowledged that, well, not yet. One of the challenges that I believe we have as a human family is that we continue to think from below. We continue to look at our own circumstance and try to expand from where we are to what we think may be possible. And this is understandable because it's our reference point. But if we look at the higher way of thinking, if we listen to some of the invitations, even out of scriptures, to think from a higher place, we oftentimes get a different story. Like the vision of the prophet that sees an interesting experience on God's holy mountain, where that sense of aggression and prey and predator does not exist. I'm beginning to think that in order for us to move from where we are definitively, we will need to do something that is in alignment with what perhaps the scientists are doing. For scientists are not necessarily trying to add to what is already there. Scientists tend to be asking questions about what can be, what is possible, what can we accomplish, what can we create. And it isn't oftentimes that they make something based on what is currently happening, but instead what happens is that they envision something, they create something, and then the rest of us, as we engage it ourselves, we wonder, what did we do before we had this? It was nothing that was in it within our imagination in the slightest. But since it has come about, it has become something that we can't do without. And this goes for so many different things in our lives. So scientists aren't expanding what is there. Scientists seem to be drawing on some inner inspiration that allows them to leap ahead and miss out a lot of the little steps that we in our own experience seem to be caught up in. The little things that cause us to utilize so much energy that we're not able to have the bigger vision. But yet the prophet and those mystics among us do just like the scientists. They open themselves to that divine inspiration, which causes them to leap over the minutiae, and they are able to embrace the more. They're able to go beyond what is there. They surpass those little things and they move to the greater things. And I believe this is what we need in our world. In our world of faith, growth, and development, we need to embrace the inspiration that causes us to hold a vision of what can be, and bring that vision of what can be into our present. It's like Neville Goddard in a lot of his work sought to do, to to bring that which is desired into the present. So we feel as though it is already established. And in feeling as though it's already established, it gives energy to it. So rather than worrying about how do we counteract the violence that seems to be growing, we would serve our world better if we envisage a world at peace. If each one of us devotes himself or herself to feeling that peace, to knowing that peace, to establishing that peace in our lives, in every moment, and perceiving a world, perceiving ourselves as being in a world that is at peace, perceiving ourselves in a nation in which there is peace. So we are not fighting the violence which creates more violence. We're not standing against it, but we are envisioning peace. We're making peace central to our very existence. Perhaps if we're able to embrace this, we may find that we have a way forward in this world, a way that enables us to truly establish the kingdom of God in our world and bring about that peace that we know is on the horizon.